how to strengthen our understanding about financial statements. We have had studied all these financial statements while pursuing our course. Uh, so, what are these statements? The three prime statements which are there that we need to understand and that we need to really have a very strong hold about. Number one is the profit and loss. And what the profit and loss statement tells us? The profit and loss statement tells us about the financial performance of a company, the operational performance of a company. So हमें P&L से क्या मालूम पड़ता है? हमें P&L से मालूम पड़ता है कि ये कंपनी की ऑपरेटिंग परफॉर्मेंस कैसी है, इस कंपनी की फाइनेंशियल परफॉर्मेंस कैसी है. And please remember, unless and until a company is having good operational performance, good financial performance, this company obviously cannot be considered to be a good company. So we would look at the profit and loss statement for evaluating as to how is the operating and the financial performance of a company. Number two, the statement that we need to understand is the balance sheet. So what the balance sheet tells us? The balance sheet tells us the financial position of a company. How is the financial position of a company? And interestingly, friends, all of you know, whenever you look at the balance sheet of any company, doesn't really matter as to which company's balance sheet that you're looking at. Doesn't really matter as to where this company come from. Is it an Indian company? Is it a foreign company? Is it a private company? Is it a public company? Is it a public sector company? It is a private sector company. It is from the IT industry. It is from the FMCG industry. It doesn't really matter as to what the company is. We all understand. Any company, whenever a balance sheet is made, the two sides of the balance sheet of any company will always be the same. And therefore the question is कि अगर सारी दुनिया में सारी कंपनियों के बैलेंस शीट के दोनों साइड के टोटल सेम है, then how do you figure out that this is a good balance sheet or this is a bad balance sheet? But let me tell you, yes, of course, the balance sheet will give us an idea as to whether it is a good balance sheet or it is a bad balance sheet. In this session today, friends, our focus is going to be on these two financial statements. But for the reference, I would also like to mention the third statement, and that is the fund flow statement and the cash flow statement. And please remember, friends, here, balance sheet is important, but the board of directors or the managing director or the chairman of a company would not look at the balance sheet every day. They would look at the balance sheet only once in a quarter when the balance sheet is to be signed and the results are to be declared. P&L is also important, friends, please remember, but the P&L also is not something that people would look at every day. P&L is also something they would look at maybe at the end of the month to find out as to how the company has performed financially and operationally. It is the cash flow statement that is very, very critical and crucial. And please remember, what the cash flow statement or the fund flow statement will tell you. The cash flow statement will tell you as to from where the money is coming into the company and where the money is going out from the company. And on that, you would decide as to whether the cash flow management or the fund flow management of this company is good or it is not good. So that is the third statement. I can only tell you in brief as to how do you figure out whether it is a good cash flow or good fund flow or it is a bad cash flow, bad fund flow. Answer, of course, is very simple. Remember, if the cash coming in into the business is more than the cash which is going out of the business, it obviously is a good cash flow. And if the cash flow which is coming into the company is less than the cash which is going out of the company, that means this company has got a bad cash flow or bad fund flow management. But you as a professional should not stop only at this. What you need to do, you also need to analyze as to where the money is coming in is fine, but you need to figure out as to where the money is coming in from. If the money is coming from borrowing, all right, it is okay. But if the money is coming from borrowing, that means what? That means it is an obligation. And therefore, cash is coming into the business, but the source is having an obligation. And that is what you need to figure out by yourself. The cash coming from the equity is all right. Because the cash coming by way of equity in the business may not have an obligation to pay a fixed amount of dividend. What is the best cash that can come and should come to the business is the cash which is coming from the profit. So that is, friend, your profit and loss statement and balance sheet and the fund flow and the cash flow statement. Now what I intend to do, I intend to start with the understanding of the profit and loss statement, and then we'll go to the balance sheet. So in case if you have any doubt, any question, please ask me.